Good morning, good day, wherever you are. Today I'm going to go over the essential oil starter kit. So a lot of these oils are in many of the doTERRA starter kits, and this is a particular one, the Healthy Essentials. And I'm going to briefly go over how I like to use these oils and very, very briefly go over how you can use them when you first get this kit or any of your kits that happen to have some of these oils. I enjoy using tea tree quite a bit, also known as Melaleuca tea tree oil. This one in particular is one that you can actually use internally, but it doesn't taste good in my opinion. But if you have a sore throat or tickly throat, you can gargle with it. You can brush your teeth with it. And I use it most often if there's any cuts or scrapes to disinfect an area. So tea tree is very disinfectant. It helps to kill a lot of germs, anti-parasitic, all sorts of things, right? Tea tree is a must-have. I actually don't go anywhere without tea tree, even on my walks. Yes, and I really like it. So it's clarifying. Some of the other ways I like using it are if I enjoy using it before bed to help clear out maybe frenetic thoughts and energies, and first thing in the morning, or if I just feel like I need it. I have friends that are nurses or that work very closely with the public and with a lot of people because that's their work. And using tea tree has really helped them after the session and before the session with multitudes of people. So you can put it on the top of your head, the back of your neck, over your heart, inside your wrist creases, to sort of help you reset into your own sense of well-being. After being around other people, we kind of pick up on their vibes, we pick up on their emotions, unwittingly. We all do this all the time. So tea tree is very, very wonderful for helping to clear out some of those emotions that kind of stick onto us, or vibes, whatever you want to call it. So it's excellent disinfectant. If you have any kind of injury as well, I recommend using tea tree first and then maybe applying another oil like helichrysum or lavender. The cleansing oil. Tea tree is the cleansing oil. So you can also diffuse it if you like, but my preferred way of using it is topically. Oh, another wonderful thing for you ladies, and men actually, tea tree is really great for getting rid of yeast infections and things like that. Dudes, I highly recommend cleaning your genital area with a little bit of diluted tea tree as well. It helps to clean out any residue, sticky stuff that shouldn't be there. It's a gentle way of doing it, and you can also cleanse your scalp. So go ahead and use a little bit of tea tree, maybe with some coconut oil, or mixed in with your soap or your shampoo. Your hair, because it helps to get rid of flaky and like bacteria and all that kind of stuff. And also as an underarm cleanser. All around, just think cleanser, right? Tea tree. Okay, lavender. Lavender is the oil of communication, and it helps to basically turn up the volume on communication. So I know that most of us like to use lavender as a calming oil, and it definitely does that for many, many, many of us. It's very calming, but it's actually a great oil for communication. So you can put it on your throat or over your heart to help with communication, your wrist creases, especially if you're having a difficult time expressing yourself. You might want to use some oils like tea tree first, some other oils to help you get that out, like cassia, and lavender is one of those oils that'll help you get the communication, it also helps to turn up the volume and how you're already feeling. So lavender, for physical uses, you can use after burn. So if you've accidentally burnt yourself on a pot or pan or some hot water, or you've been out in the sun for too long, you can add lavender. You can use it diluted or undiluted. I find it works better undiluted, this particular lavender, on a burn. Let's say you've burnt yourself from water or on a pan and it's actually starting to bubble or it's super red. Just using it straight undiluted is best, I find, because if you mix it with an oil, the oil doesn't really help with an extreme burn. But with something like a sunburn, then adding a moisturizing oil does help. Lavender, of course, you can spritz it on your pillow to help you sleep if lavender is one of the oils that helps you sleep. Lavender is generally very calming for most people, and if it's not for you, don't worry. Try some of the woods oil and some of the other floral oils, maybe some citruses. So a citrus and a wood oil is wonderful for calming if lavender isn't the one for you. If lavender works for you, go ahead and use it. We're each different, right? So the oil of communication, and it is a bit of a Swiss Army knife. So again, if you've had a cut, use a bit of tea tree and then use lavender to help soothe that. If you've had bug bites, use tea tree to cleanse it first and then use lavender to soothe it. So it's a very soothing oil to skin irritations, many different kinds of skin irritations. Lemon. Lemon is another cleansing and clarifying oil. This one, lavender you can take internally as well if you enjoy the taste of it in tea, or if you have a recipe that calls for lavender, it tastes magnificent. So you can add that as a flavor boost, especially if you don't maybe have like lavender florets or something like that to use in your recipe. So lemon is, I love using this one just in my drinking water. I'll add a few drops to my 8-ounce water and drink with it. I have a friend that loves using it as a little shot in the morning to make sure that she's got her cleansing. So it helps to cleanse your organs, and it also helps to cleanse a multitude of other things. It is a massive degreaser. So if you have something sticky, let's say on a bottle, you've peeled the label off of the bottle and you want to keep the bottle or reuse it for any reason, or if you have paint on your hands, you can use a little bit of lemon oil and rub it on, and it helps to really remove that gunk, the stickiness, any kind of very sticky residue, it removes. It's wonderful for that. It works really well. And of course, we kind of already know that lemon works well. It's in all of those cleansing soaps, really high degreasing soaps, because lemon works. So this lemon is from the cold press of the peel of the essential oil. So if you peel a lemon and you squeeze it onto something that's greasy, some of the water and juices will come out, but also the essential oil will come out. And you can actually use that lemon peel to degrease things. But this is a concentrate version of the essential oil that helps you degrease. So internally, it actually helps to dissolve and helps our body to process a lot of toxins, small amounts of plastics, things like that, so that our body can more easily flush it out. Yes, it is safe for your liver. We are not going to drink this entire bottle. That is not safe. Well, you probably wouldn't be able to. You'd have a reflex, but you're only using a few drops at a time, and that is actually very healthy. So also make sure that if you're not using this particular brand, that you're using a brand that is safe to use internally. This is very, very important, because essential oils are an unregulated industry in the world. And therefore, what that means, according to Aromatic Plant Research Center, over 90% of essential oils on the market are adulterated. And yes, adulterated, they've added another product to the essential oil as a filler, and often 100% of the time we don't even know what that other thing is in the bottle. They can label it whatever they want because it's an unregulated industry, and so far, they can take the risk of being sued because no one's regulating it. Literally, no one's regulating it. So if you don't know what's in your bottle, I actually just don't recommend using it until you do know what's in the bottle. And the company should always be able to tell you the test results from a third party to see if it's safe to use and to see if it's a pure oil, okay? Because if it is not a pure oil, then I don't know what's in it, and these recommendations that I'm making right now are basically out the window because I don't know what's in it. So, and I don't know if it's safe or not. So I'm not talking about those unknown oils, which unfortunately is 90% of essential oils on the market. I am talking about tested grade, quality tested by a third party that is visible to the public, to anybody at any time, per batch, not just, this random essential oil and this test that was done 6 years ago. I am talking about an essential oil, each batch is tested for safety and for quality, okay? I'm done with my rant. But this is really, really for your safety. Another quick safety thing when it comes to citrus oils is do not use them topically where the skin might be exposed to UV light, such as the sun or a tanning salon, anything like that, because it actually attracts the UV lights and can cause a weird tan mark or even a burn. So just do not use the citrus oils on the skin where it's exposed to sunlight. I have done that by accident where I actually had it in a roller like this and it was mixed and there was some citrus oil in it. I believe it was bergamot at the time. And I put some right here on my chest and I had this little weird tan line, right? So, and I couldn't figure it out for a while until I realized I was gonna put my oil back on. I'm like, oh, right, that's what it's from. Luckily it wasn't a burn, but that's just an example. You don't want some weird tan either. Okay. Lemon, uses for lemon. So it's a massive degreaser externally and internally. And it is a clarifying oil. So if you're feeling kind of like any kind of congestion, run like a congestion up here, or where you have a lot of phlegm, or if you're feeling fuzzy in the head, like brain fog kind of thing, lemon can really help with that. So if you're feeling brain fog or fuzziness, uses like peppermint and tea tree and lemon in a diffuser, and I'll talk about the diffuser here. Here's a diffuser. You want to make sure that you fill it up to the marker. You might have a different max marker, so just make sure that you only fill it up to the max with tap water is fine, and then add your essential oils. I recommend starting with less and then adding more if you need more, depending on the room size you're in and things like that. If you have pets, I just recommend that you allow the pets to be able to move out of that room if they don't enjoy the smell. My dog doesn't seem to mind any of the smells when I diffuse. She doesn't like being offered peppermint. She, just walks away from it. And then other oils like copaiba or lavender, she actually really enjoys and tries to lick it off my hand. So listen to your pet knows, and allow your pet to move out of the room if you're diffusing in a room. But these oils are safe for your pet, and if you want more information on pets and oils, message me and I'll send you some links from a vet that I follow. Okay, I digress. Lemon oil. So I love using it internally. What it actually does is I did a cool little experiment with a styrofoam cup. I added a few drops of lemon oil to the styrofoam cups, and within a couple minutes it had actually dissolved the bottom where the drops fell in the styrofoam cup. It dissolved the styrofoam and made a hole. So lemon cuts through grease and other toxic materials. I can put this all over my hand and it is not gonna hurt my hand. It's actually good for my hand, and I can use it as a cleanser. I can drink it. Oh my God, I love the smell so much. And it's doing that in our body and outside of our body. It's helping us to cut and eliminate those toxic substances that our body doesn't need. On another side note, I love using lemon on a little bit of plain yogurt. You could be using vegan yogurt or regular cow's milk yogurt, and it helps. It's kind of like a sherbet taste. Lemon adds such a wonderful flavor to the yogurt. It's so yummy, and you can also add it to other recipes if you like it. Okay, peppermint. This is like an awakening oil. You smell it and it picks you right up. It wakes you up and it makes you more alert to your senses, to your environment, and it also helps to open up airways. So if you're having difficulty breathing, again, you can use some lemon for getting rid of the mucus, and then you can use peppermint to open up the airways so that you can breathe better. Of course, many of us have experienced this in many products on the market. Either you buy it over the counter or even prescription. They will use peppermint to help open up the airways so that you can breathe better. Again, with brain fog, head congestion, using lemon, peppermint, maybe some tea tree as well. In the diffuser, it really helps to clear that fog. Peppermint is a pick-me-up. If you need a boost of energy, this is like a secondary, instead of using caffeine, you can use some peppermint to energize you. You can take just one drop like this and put it on the roof of your mouth. Yum, yum, yum. And I can feel it. It goes right into my sinuses. It tastes wonderful. It's a great breath freshener. And then the remainder, I can just smell it, right? Oh, it's so lovely. So peppermint, you can add it in recipes. It is very, 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 very strong. So just add a little bit. You can add it to your water as well. I love adding it to a little spritzer and just spraying as a breath freshener and a pick-me-up. Great in the diffuser in the morning if you need that extra pick-me-up. Maybe you don't drink coffee or coffee isn't enough for you. Peppermint really wakes you up. Peppermint is also good for any kind of heat inflammation on the body. So if you're feeling overheated from the sun, hot flashes, all sorts, or maybe even a mild fever or something like that, you can use a little bit of peppermint with some fractionated coconut oil and put it on that area of the body that's overheated, or put it in a spritzer bottle and spray it on yourself, and it cools you right down. So peppermint is excellent at cooling you down. If you love peppermint tea, you can add a drop to some warm water, maybe with some honey or whatever sweetener you want, and drink that. Wonderful pick-me-up, wonderful breath freshener. It feels great. It's rejuvenating. It brings that energy, and it's really wonderful. Also, little like bug bites that are really itchy and hot, then adding peppermint to those itchy hot bug bites also helps, just a little bit. I recommend diluting peppermint when using it topically, but you can use it undiluted. Let's say you have some head tension or neck and shoulder tension, then you can use peppermint straight, but it helps to absorb in the body a lot faster when you're diluting it with some fractionated coconut oil. I use peppermint in combination with frankincense when I was in pain, arthritic pain from Lyme disease. I couldn't sleep at night. I was kept awake at night. And I would use peppermint and frankincense on the inflamed areas of my joints so that I could sleep at night. So peppermint helps to reduce inflammation, so it's really wonderful for those tensions. It's pick-me-up, revitalizing, and it also helps to open up sinuses. So many awesome things. And if you like peppermint chocolate, add it to your chocolate. Okay, frankincense, since I mentioned frankincense. This is the oil of truth. You can use it in so many ways. I can't talk about everything. So some of the ways I love using peppermint. It is wonderful. There's some great research on PubMed on peppermint that you can look up. Just go to PubMed and search in the search bar frankincense essential oil, and you will see so much research. So a lot of it has to do with anti-inflammatory, it's anti-aging, and it helps with cellular regeneration. It is one of the oils that can cross the blood-brain barrier, and if you're dealing with it's super helpful with memory, especially for long-term use. But just a quick way I love to use it regularly is on the skin for scars, for sunspots, to repair the skin and make it more youthful looking. You can also get combinations such as Immortelle that has frankincense and lavender and rose and many of the other anti-aging oils. Use it on your skin, on scars, on aging spots, on wrinkles, things like that. But you can use frankincense on its own. Another quick tip, if you don't know what oil to use and you're going through something random or you have some random skin issue, you can go to frankincense. If in doubt, go to frankincense because it's wonderful. It's so gentle. You can use this undiluted. You can take this one internally. Also for head tension, severe head tension, if peppermint doesn't work, doing that same thing, putting a little drop on your roof of your mouth and holding it there for about 30 seconds longer if you can. That has worked for me every single time. Again, frankincense, of course, with inflammation, joint inflammation, including arthritic like pain. I had Lyme disease, it worked well for me. I know other people have used it for nerve issues. If they have nerve pain, frankincense is excellent, especially for temporary and sometimes even longer term relief from that pain, right? So you just apply it topically directly. Again, if you're using it topically, I like using a diluted form because it stays on the skin for longer. These are aromatic, essential oils are aromatic substances, and they will eventually diffuse off of your skin. So if you're using it with a carrier oil, it'll stay onto your skin a lot longer. So you can go ahead and use frankincense on your sunspots, on your aging spots. If you've got head tension, you can regularly put it maybe behind the ears and the back of your neck. If you have issues with memory, or take it internally, just one drop under your tongue. You can use it on skin issues that are unknown and you're not sure what oil to use. And there are so many other uses, but it's marvelous on the skin. It's marvelous internally. It feeds the cells and helps to tell the cells what to do and what's going on, and helps to protect cells. So this is also an immune booster. All right, where am I? Speaking of immune boosters, I'm gonna go to the Onguard Blend. This is the protective blend, and I always have this one around me as well. It smells so wonderful. It's a combination of wild orange, cinnamon, clove, rosemary, and a eucalyptus that is safe to use internally. Not all plants are good to use internally. For example, the tea tree that I was talking about, this one is safe to use internally, but there are over 300 varieties of tea tree. Is it 300? Maybe it's less than that. There are a lot of varieties of tea tree, can't remember the number. Not all are ingestible. The same with eucalyptus. Not all eucalyptuses are ingestible, some are and some aren't. And the same with wintergreen, some are ingestible and some aren't, depending where it comes from and what variety. So make sure that you read the label and make sure that you can. But this one here, the Onguard Blend, can be used internally. It actually tastes magnificent. I love it in hot chocolate because I like that spicy, warm taste. And you can use it as a protective blend. So again, if you have a sore throat and you want to get rid of it, I love using a little bit of Onguard, maybe with some honey or another sweetener to help dilute it. And then I'll swallow it to help get rid of that bacteria in the throat. The oils in here are magnificent at killing a lot of bacteria, a lot of germs and things that we don't need in our body. And it has worked for me every single time. And I've been using this for several years now, and it gets rid of my sore throat every single time. Absolutely magnificent. So I love using this with some alcohol, a pure alcohol as a hand sanitizer. You can also buy, they have the doTERRA hand sanitizer if you don't want to make your own, but you can make your own, maybe with some aloe vera to help moisturize it as well. And using this topically, you can use this topically, but there's not very many forms you want to use it topically other than like washing your hands, or let's say you have cold feet. The oils in here are very warming. Maybe in the winter time, or you generally have cold feet, you might want to put some diluted form. It is a spicy oil, so I do highly recommend it if you're going to use it topically to dilute it, please, because cinnamon and clove are spicy oils, and they will stimulate the skin more, and they will cause the more circulation in that area and create more heat in the body in that area. So if you want that, if that's something you want, like peppermint is cooling to that area of the body, cinnamon and clove are heating to the body, so you can apply it to the bottoms of your feet if you have cold feet, with some fractionated coconut oil. Maybe put your socks on top, go to bed, you can sleep nice and cozy. That's probably more in colder weather than we are right now, but clove is really wonderful for that. So clove actually kills a lot. If you want to also check out PubMed for clove essential oil, there's some really cool studies on clove. I love drinking, this one in, you can brush your teeth with it, but you can also buy a toothpaste with it. Again, if you're going to brush your teeth with it, use it with some coconut oil, something like that to help dilute it. And I love the taste of it. Tastes magnificent. So there's so many ways to use this. So this is the protective oil. So if you're going to use it topically, use fractionated coconut oil. If you're going to use it internally, use olive oil. Use another emulsifier such as butter, or a sweetener is an emulsifier to help you so it doesn't sting your mouth. Some people can handle it. I'd rather have it mixed with something. So a fatty substance or a sweet substance will work. Deep Blue, this is a favorite. This is the soothing blend, and it's for so many aches and pains. So head tension, neck tension, back pain, joint pain, inflammation, bruising, working out and your muscles are really sore, or you worked in the garden for too long and your muscles are sore. Anything that hurts, you want to use this one topically. You can diffuse it. You are not going to eat it. Don't eat it. The majority of the oils in here are edible, but there's a few that you shouldn't. If you do accidentally, don't freak out. You'll be fine, but it's not going to taste great, so you're not going to do it. You can diffuse it, but using it topically is going to be the highest benefit. Again, this is a pure oil, so you want to dilute it. You can use it straight. I actually find it works a hell of a lot better when it's diluted because it allows time to sink in to the body, to those sore muscles, so that it absorbs through the body. Give it time to absorb through the body. So mix it with some fractionated coconut oil. You can put it in a roller bottle like this. You can mix it with some cream and apply it directly to the sore spots in your body, wherever that is. If it's the temples, back of the neck, shoulders, your spine, maybe your knee, your feet, wherever it hurts, put it on. And you want to put it on a regular basis. So the more that you use these oils, the more that it works. Some of these, it's temporary relief, but in my experience, you use it temporarily for a month, a year, and eventually you don't need it anymore. It's pretty cool. That's from my experience. But in some cases, you might need it for a longer period of time and maybe change your diet before you stop using it. Okay. Another one that you shouldn't be using internally, FYI. This is Easy Air. In the States, it's also known as Breathe. So Breathe or Easy Air in Canada and in Europe. And this is the oil to open up the airways and help clear the airways. So the sinuses, clear the lungs. It's wonderful for people that have issues breathing, taking a nice deep breath. I love using, this is my favorite oil to use, one of my favorite oils to use at night while I sleep, because it helps to open up my airway so I can sleep deeply and well. That's my particular favorite. A lot of people that suffer from seasonal allergies love this oil. It gives them a lot of relief because it helps to open up those airways. So there is tea tree and lemon in there. They're both very cleansing. Lemon, like I mentioned earlier, helps to cut mucus. Tea tree helps to kill a lot of those little pathogens in the air and wherever they might be. So you might also, if somebody's not feeling well or feeling sick, you could diffuse the two, Easy Air or Breathe, with the Onguard, and that really, really helps as a cleanser. So if somebody's not feeling good, diffuse those two. My favorite way to use Easy Air is diffuse. I pretty much only diffuse it, but you can use it topically. Again, I would mix it with fractionated coconut oil, and you can add it to those areas of the body where maybe around your chest if you need breathing, or over your sinuses, wherever you think you need it, okay? It's also a little bit cooling, so if you don't have peppermint on you, then this is another great option to help cool off that area of the body. The Zengest or Digest Zen, depending on where in the world. So it's Digest Zen in the United States and Zengest in Canada and Europe. And this is the digestive blend. This helps with everything digestion. I include emotional. If you're having anxiety cramps in your belly, use this one, as opposed to, most people will just jump on lavender for anxiety. Sure, that might help, but really listen to your body. Where are you feeling that emotion, right? Maybe you're feeling it in head tension. Therefore, you might want to use some peppermint or some deep blue to help relieve that head tension. If you're feeling it in your stomach, then use the Digest Zen. It works. It is marvelous how it works. If you have overeaten something, you can use it on your belly. So you want to, again, dilute it or mix some fractionated coconut oil and add it to your belly. I have a girlfriend that was medicating for acid reflux, and she said that the Zengest or Digest Zen actually works faster than her medication, and she just applies it directly over her esophagus and it helps immediately. It just takes a few seconds to kick in. So of course, it might not help everybody. It depends on your body. It depends what's actually going on, and it depends on the source. But it really helped her, so maybe this will help somebody out there. I love it. If I'm having issues with my stomach, I have eaten something that doesn't agree with me, like let's say fried food, especially if you're traveling and there's not much option out there and you end up eating like fried food and chips and Ice cream really bothers me. It hurts my stomach, so I avoid it completely. But if somehow I have something like that, then I'll use some Zengest on my belly to help me digest that food. If somebody is constipated or has diarrhea, either one, it helps to regulate the digestive system either way. I know that sounds weird, but it works both ways. It works both ways. So if you have a hard time going to the bathroom regularly, this is your friend. And as a side note here, it also helps with sinuses. So if you don't have the easier, this one would be my first option to open up sinuses. But the Digest Zen, just a little bit here. You want to dilute it. Be very careful you don't get any into your eyes of these, because they both have peppermint, which is very stimulating to the eyes. So any digestive issues, this is your friend. Oh, and it tastes wonderful as a tea. So you can add it to some warm water and drink it like a tea. I really love the taste of it. You can diffuse it, but this one is normally taken internally or used topically. Those two are the favorites. Okay, last but definitely not least is oregano. Oregano is the oil of humility, but you know what oregano does? You probably heard about oregano. It helps to protect the body from so many pathogens. Similar to tea tree and the Onguard, these three are the ones that you want to use to help get rid of some nasty bugs that you might have, or emotionally, if you need to get rid of some nasty bugs because you've been around people that are very, very negative, or you've been in a situation that's very, very negative, you might want to use these oils to help you cleanse that out. So oregano is a very, very spicy oil. If you are going to use it topically, dilute it, please. Dilute it, please. It's so spicy. There are some people out there that can handle it neat. Ugh. Maybe on some places on the body, but not everywhere. It's a very, very, very spicy oil. So dilute, dilute, dilute. These little bottles are gonna last you a long time, especially for a potent oil like oregano. So you can use it in pasta, of course. If you're gonna do that, use a toothpick and just add a tiny wee bit, less than a drop at a time, because if you put in too much, it's not like you can add a whole, well, maybe you can add another bunch of sauce, but start small. Okay, so how I like to use oregano. If I have a bug that is very, very persuasive and in the way, so if you have, let's say, some bugs that are growing on your toes or your feet, you'd want to use a combination of oregano and tea tree to get rid of those little things that grow in the toes areas. Especially, if you've walked barefoot on very public places, that can happen, right? You can use, so this is what you can use this also internally, but if you're going to use it internally, I recommend using it in a veggie capsule or mixing it with olive oil so that it's not so spicy going down. I love using this one internally if I feel like I've caught something or I've got a bug and I need to get rid of it. It works really, really well. It works wonderful for intestinal parasites, which, FYI, I'm gonna talk about intestinal parasites because over 70% of the first world population has had parasites. It happens. Everybody gets them, especially if you have pets. Keep that in mind. So I do a cleanse with tea tree, oregano, Onguard, and a few other oils on a regular basis. I have a dog. She eats random stuff and she licks me. It is very possible that I can get parasites from that. So I regularly cleanse So I will take some in a veggie capsule for anywhere from 10 to 14 days to help get rid of any intestinal parasites that are in my body so they don't lodge in and they don't bother me, because intestinal parasites can cause a lot of issues long-term, including feelings of depression, anxiety, biting your nails, skin irritations, cravings for things that aren't healthy for you, weird cravings, eating too much. Intestinal parasites can do so many things. So cleansing on a regular basis, I highly recommend. You can also check out some cleanses online, and I have an entire video on YouTube about cleansing. So check that out. I won't talk about it too much. Oregano to help also if you're around people or situations that are bothering you emotionally. I find that using tea tree and also oregano as a even bigger solutions, like if it's really bothering you, you can add a drop diluted, let's say to your solar plexus or to the top of your head, diluted because it's spicy, and it helps you to rebalance into your own emotional state rather than picking up on everybody else's. We're human beings, we pick up on other people's stuff. Even if you don't see people, you're picking up on stuff online, you're watching shows, whatever. We have influences everywhere. So for that emotional, mental cleanse, I'll call it, then you can use it topically as well. It works really well. So solar plexus, top of head, maybe back of neck. Those are great spots. Diluted, please, because it's spicy, spicy. But it is a really good oil. It'll last you forever. I think I've caught all of them. So remember that all of these oils are undiluted. So you probably want to dilute them unless maybe you're using them in water, like the lemon. Some of these are a lot spicier than others. And you can also go onto my YouTube channel if you want more in-depth information about that specific oil. Yeah. Okay, I probably missed a lot because there are so many things you can do with these oils, and I just touched on how I like to use them most. Okay, I hope you have a wonderful, great day. I love to hear your comments, if you want me to talk about a specific oil, or if you want to learn anything more about a specific topic, direct message me or message below. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks.